then just look around the congregation this morning, whether you're in the balcony or whether you're downstairs, and just look at the smiles on people's faces. If it's not there, help them put one there. Just smile at them. They'll smile back. And as you're feeling that smile from the soul emerge on your face, feel that we're in a consciousness of magnificence and beauty. And look at one of the people sitting right next to you. Smile at that person. And then say, my, my, my. There is such magnificence in you. The glory of God is in you. Dynamic peace is in you. Infinite power is in you. Divine intelligence is in you. And you have come to set it free. To make a mighty difference on this planet. And to change the world for the better. Let's be about this in the here and now, and so it is. Amen. Touch and agree, hug, handshake, whatever you're uncomfortable with. And just feel that dynamic of being in alignment with what you spoke into each other. You spoke truth into each other. You looked beyond the veil of separation and you spoke about the powers and the presence and the love that is within all of us, seeking to express through us by means of us according to our unique pattern. You've entered into the phase of understanding what it means to be the spiritual image and the very likeness of God, which does not mean you look like God because God is formless. It means that you have a faculty. You share a faculty with infinite mind. And that faculty is that you have the ability to think independent of circumstances, independent of the manifest world, independent of anything you've created. You can actually think independent of that and be a fresh starting point for the timeless, dimensionless life to course through you in such a way that life renews itself over and over and over again by means of you. You are the image and likeness of God, which means conditions and circumstances do not determine your destiny. Your destiny is determined by your attitude. Your attitude shapes your character, and your character determines your destiny. In other words, karma does not determine your destiny. Karma can only determine starting points. But your destiny is determined by your attitude, which shapes character, which shapes your destiny. Which means you are free right now to change the trajectory of your life by changing your attitude, flooding yourself with a dynamic of infinite potential, and allowing yourself to take off into realms of ever-expanding good. You are not a victim to time or place. You're not a victim of circumstance. You are here to represent the presence that is never an absence. Oh, just look to your neighbor and say, I got to listen to more of this. I think he's speaking to you. But I'm going to listen in. So just that preamble right there, if you were to take just that and meditate upon just what I just said, you can change your life for the better. We can stop right there and take an offering, right, and just forget about it. But we're not. Because we're coming into an understanding that today, being the last day of this month of Sundays, and we're finishing a theme. And the theme, of course, is your rules for engagement, acceptance, harvest, and forgiveness. And you've come to an understanding that your rule for engagement of being in this particular dimension of time and space is that you volunteered to be here. You chose to be here at this particular time of history being making right in front of us. You chose to be here at this time of human history where the old paradigm is dissolving and a new paradigm is being born. You chose to be here during a time in which the light is so bright that the shadow is big. The brighter and bigger the light, the bigger the shadow. So you have chose to be here at a time in which the shadow is showing its face of separation and narcissism and ego tripping and pseudo power and greed and all of that that's rising up to be seen can no longer be hidden because the light is so bright. You chose to incarnate at this time in human history. we're in the process of embracing the shadow to transmute it and transcend it so that we can move to the next stage of human evolution. You did not choose to be here to be an observer of history. You chose to be here to be a history maker. And just say that, I'm a history maker. And you are choosing to be here as a history maker by one, keeping your heart open, by two, being able to articulate a higher vision, and three, being the dispenser of your gifts. That's how you become a history maker. You keep your heart open during times of contraction, polarization, of wild opinions, points of view, I'm right, you're wrong. You're here to keep your heart open, articulate a transcendent vision of possibility for your life and the life of humanity, and then ask the universe to use you as a dispenser of divine gifts and talents and capacities, expanding in such a way that you're making history by becoming more and more and more of yourself. This is the time that you have incarnated. You've carnated during this particular time. And so we enter into the topic of the day, which is voice your choice. Now, you've heard me say over the years, for those who have been with me, that we are learning to see with the eye that is beyond the eye, and we're learning to hear with the ear that is beyond the ear. Now, there is the eye that's behind the eye, and there's the ear that's behind the ear. That means you can begin to see, that's what is behind your eye, your perception. You can have opinions about what you're seeing, points of view. You can hear with the ear that is behind the ear. That is, you can hear your own thoughts about reality and have an interactive relationship with them. And that means that you're basically having a conversation or a listening party with your own perceptions, and those perceptions may or may not be coherent with the fundamental harmony of the universe, but you have the capacity to absolutely see beyond the eye and to hear beyond the ear, and to live in a higher state of awareness that cleans the perceptual windows so that you're having an encounter with life. Are you picking up what I'm putting down right there? Are you getting it? Okay. So right now, just say, I am magnificent. Say, I'm great. I'm beautiful. I'm wonderful. Now I want you to say it again, but this time I don't want you to move your lips. I just want you to think it. So just think, I'm great. Think, I'm wonderful. Think, I am magnificent. Think, all of my needs are met. Think, I am radiant beauty. So in that moment, you thought it, you said it, and you heard it. You did not use your mouth, and you did not use your ears. You were able to hear it without ears, and you were able to say it without your body temple. Now that is what remains when the body temple dissolves. When the body temple is gone, you still have that faculty of thinking, you still have that faculty of speaking, you still have that faculty of hearing. You're not the body. You are that energy that's thinking that thought, and you are the energy that's hearing that. And you are now coming into a level of harmony, a level of congruence with voicing your choice on a regular basis, so that what you're saying and what you're listening to has something to do with truth and reality, something to do with a vision for a higher possibility for your life, so that ultimately, as you're saying, as you're voicing your choice, as you're saying it and hearing it, it begins to clean the perceptual windows so that you're able to absolutely have an encounter with life which is unadulterated by your previously held perceptions and points of view, so that you're able to walk in this world anchoring the realm of ever-expanding good on earth as it is in the mind of God. You have that much power. Within you, there are other voices as well. There's societal voices, there's parental voices, there's well-meaning friends' voices, there's hereditary voices, there's all manner of voices. There's sub-personality voices that emerge, personalities that have emerged as a reaction to circumstance. In other words, your personality comes from persona, which means mask. The mask that we wear emerged from time, emerged from a reaction to circumstance. They have their voices too. However, and it's a constellation of subpersonalities that sometimes proliferate our perception, and we begin to have a cacophony of all of these voices speaking, and we're listening. But when you say to yourself, magnificence is here, beauty is here, safety is here, security is here, all of my needs are met, are right here, and you listen to it on a regular basis, and you feel it transcending, remember, you're the image and likeness of God, transcending the physical manifestation, the conditions that have come about. Remember, the conditions that you see are called the past. Anything you can see with your eyes is called the past. It was once a congealed thought form that manifested itself, and so people are navigating through the past, and they're allowing the past to develop their personality, and those sub-personalities are having voices obscuring the vision of what you could possibly see, and you're extricating yourself from the past by coming into a level of coherence with prayer and meditation and visioning and hearing the transcendent voice in your own awareness until you begin to feel what you are saying. Thus, the brighter your light, the bigger the shadow, which means all the things. This is a long sentence, but follow me. That means all of the stuff within you that has been created by the subpersonalities and have been sublimated and repressed and suppressed during a time in which you did not want to experience all of that rises up to be embraced, transmuted, and transcended by the voicing of your choice. All of my needs are met. Everything is working together for good. Life is for me. There is nothing against me. Until you begin to hear that, that becomes an access point to the still, small voice, which becomes louder and louder and louder. It's only still and small because you have a cacophony of voices from subpersonalities. But at some point, when you begin to hear yourself on a regular basis telling yourself the truth, then you begin to hear the one true voice that says you are the light of God, you are the life of God, you are the beauty of God. There's no original sin in you at all. There's only original multi-dimensional blessings of infinite good according to your unique pattern. You can be free now, this instant. That is the voice of the Spirit. That is the voice of the Spirit within you. We are here to claim it. Not to deny that there are things going down that used to be a part of the perception of humanity that are now causing all kinds of havoc on the planet. But it's a good time to be alive because the old decadence, that which is not in cadence with the emergent energy can now be seen. It used to be hidden, cannot be hidden anymore, you see? And so that is a great time of embracing, transmuting, transcending, not denying, not sublimating, not repressing, not suppressing, but embracing that energy. How do you do that? I said it earlier, you learn to keep your heart open during tumultuous times. You will fall prey to contracting your energy out of fear and then polarize yourself and become opinionated to protect yourself. That's a nice little opinionated dance. I'm on this side, now I'm on this side, I'm on this side, now I'm on this side. But ultimately, you embrace, you transmute those energies, and then you transcend it so that you can begin to see there's a presence and a power and a love that's untouched by the limited perception of humanity at any given time of human history, and not even merely humanity, but your own individual life, in which you have sublimated and repressed all manner of thoughts because they were too nasty and too big to deal with. However, you dealt with them anyway. Why? Because they were in there operating, and they began like a signal to bring experiences into your life that would mirror that which being suppressed and repressed. And you unconsciously projected that onto other people and say, they make me mad. And they do this to me, and they do that to me. But unknowing that you were suppressing and repressing an emotion that had to, by law, bring that experience into your life. Because what comes into your life is not uninvited. It comes because you want it or because you don't want it. You're having a relationship with it. But when you begin to hear what you're saying to yourself, but you begin to consciously say to yourself, there is magnificence here, and you hear it, and you're hearing it with consciousness beyond the ears, and you're saying it with beyond the mouth. The affirmation takes you to the point of hearing it on a regular basis, saying it on a regular basis, so that your consciousness, the content of your consciousness, becomes this living affirmation of that which is real. And then you become strong enough to withstand the onslaught of that which needs to be healed in you, and not polarizing yourself, so that you can see the face of divinity everywhere. We're living in a moment in history where contraction is creating polarization, where contraction is creating opinionation. That's a good word, opinionation, okay. But the mystics and the shamans and the artists are going to a different realm, the timeless, dimensionless space, capturing a vision of possibility, articulating it, walking with heart open, so we can become the conscious clearinghouse through which the next iteration of humanity can evolve, and the next iteration of your own life can evolve. What are you to do? Heart open, articulate a vision, be a dispenser of your gifts. In other words, as the holy kaka is rising up, you have to be big enough vibrationally to say, what is it that's mine to give? What talent is here that I'm supposed to share? What capacity within me am I supposed to activate? Let me rise up like Dr. Ford and speak my truth in a way that changes history, if that is necessary. You rise up at a moment that makes history, even when it's uncomfortable, when it's challenging. Oh, you're going to look back and you're going to say, these are good times to be alive. You're going to look back and say a great awakening was happening. You're going to look back and you're going to say all of that stuff that was going on, the cesspool of subpersonalities vying for pseudo-power and narcissism and greed and hate and all of that. You're going to say, oh my God, that was such a great time in human history, because there was a rising up of energy that absolutely anchored the next stage of human evolution. I want to read something to you. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? There was a young lady that texted me. I was in Santa Rosa this weekend teaching. The weekend before I was in Sacramento, then I was in Wichita. I've been kind of on the road a little bit. But she said she was graduating, and she was doing a goddess workshop, and she was graduating. Her name was Anita Copage, and she was graduating these women who had gone through the retreat. And she said, can you just write something intuitively that I can read at their graduation? And then subsequently, Susie Lula was speaking at a big women's event yesterday, and she read this as well. So this is what I wrote for her that I think speaks to the moment. I said to her, you are doing some of the great work of our time. The healing of the emotional psyche of women is extremely important. The rising up of fully alive, healed women at this time in human history speaks to the possibility of a real civil society in which love and compassion are its foundation. And of course, joy, bliss, ecstasy, and real happiness gets to reign supreme in a societal community where women are fully empowered. In the midst of all the history that's unfolding right in front of our eyes regarding a Supreme Court nomination, the Me Too movement, women rising out of shame regarding their own pleasure, one thing is for sure. The mute button on women has been turned off. It's been turned off. There's more. We'll stay right there for a minute. The mute button has been turned off. And life as we know it will not be the same. Our society will evolve on the powerful energies of women who love themselves and are powerful enough to be themselves. I'm sure that the retreat you just had is a part of this powerful energy. The size of the retreat, which is really an advance, does not matter. For one woman, rising affects countless individuals on a vibrational level. Keep on keeping on, and congratulations! You can't turn back the clock. Can't turn back the clock. The rising of the divine feminine, mute button being off at this time in human history, speaks to some power that's being released right now. What is the articulation of the vision? Healed men and healed women coming together to create a kind and just global society. But now that the mute button is off on women and they're not any longer afraid to speak out about abuse, domestic violence, rape, whatever the case may be, no, because of that fear is beginning to dissolve, then everybody's gonna be healed, you see. Now here's the deal. When you say to yourself, inside, I'm willing to be great. When you say to yourself inside, I'm willing to live the most excellent life that I possibly can live. When you say to yourself, I am willing to allow the best version of myself to emerge, there's an unconscious fear there. From the woman's perspective, there's an unconscious collective fear of being burned at the stake. The man's fear, the unconscious fear from the global, from the societal and global and new spheric consciousness is that I'm afraid to be crucified. And so whenever we step into the willingness to be great and stepping outside of the status quo, there's a fear of the ego to either being burned at the stake or being crucified. And we understand that because in society there is a conspiracy for mediocrity. Mediocrity and status quo go hand in hand, you see. And so there's a conspiracy for mediocrity, and the conspiracy for mediocrity screams at excellence. It criticizes excellence all the time. And so individuals who are afraid to step into their greatness, they're afraid to be an object of envy or jealousy, crucifixion or being burned at the stake. But when you get over that and realize that you are not here to please people at all, but you are here to please your soul, your eternal soul, you are empowered by the power and the presence and the love of God. You cannot win in the conspiracy for mediocrity, because if you are successful, you'll be talked about. If you fail, you'll be ridiculed. So in the sea of mental garbage, in the spirit of and the conspiracy of mediocrity, the uninitiated will always talk about you. You do really good. You look at people who have been successful in life. You look at Einstein. You look at Bohr. You look at great athletes. You look at anybody who's doing something great. There's always a bunch of stuff that they're talking. People are always trying to bring them down. Those that deify you will crucify you from the spirit of conspiracy of mediocrity. And if you fail, if you go for it and fail, then you'll be ridiculed. So you don't play for the audience. You don't play for people. You become integrated on a soul level. And you begin to hear your own voice say, I'm living for magnificence. I'm living for beauty. I'm living for joy. I'm living for integrity. I'm living for peace. You hold hands with a dynamic, non-dual spiritual quality. You sacrifice your life for it, which means you make sacred your life for it. There will be pushback from the sea of mental garbage, from the mediocre minds. But ultimately, you'll be a history maker. You'll be rising up vibrationally at the next stage of your own evolution. You'll hold hands with individuals that are going for excellence and that kind and just global society that's now emerging on the tireless backs of women who are ready to stand up and take that divine feminine and understand that there's power there, allowing the men to embrace the feminine within themselves and support that dynamic coalition of masculine and feminine energies working together as a creative urgency of a world society that works for the highest and best within us all. This is a great time to be alive. This is, if you can see it, if you can stay out of hate, keep your heart open. Stay out of resentment. Keep your heart open. Stay out of fear. Keep your heart open. Understanding that all of those energies are justified. They're justified. They are justified. But they have their power from a subpersonality. You see, hurt, oppression. They have their life from a subpersonality. But then there is the presence. And this presence, as Nelson Mandela reminded us after he spent 27 years in jail, this presence is never hurt. Body was hurt, yes. Presence never hurt, you see. This presence. So you listen, even to hear yourself. Magnificence is here, beauty is here, love is here. All my needs are met, prosperity is here. I'm hearing it without my ears. I'm saying it without my mouth. This is not the body. This is consciousness. And then you can bring your body in it as an instrument of it. I am what thou art when I am. Again, heart open, articulation of vision. What am I to give? You might be a Dr. Ford saying, I'm doing some civic duty here. You might be an activist on the front lines. You might be an artist creating a painting or a magnificent song that speaks to the possibility of humankind. You might be a teacher in the classroom that's bringing forth the excellence out of a child or a teenager. You might be in the prisons working with individuals to remind them of their infinite potential that may have been thrown away by society based on things they have done or not done in some cases. Whatever is your place in life, do not capitulate to mediocrity. Do not just get it done. You're an instrument of excellence, of beauty. And I'm telling you, those qualities, love, beauty, peace, joy, wisdom, harmony, they are not only non-dual, but they are full of power. Love is the most powerful presence on the planet. It is not a wimpy, syrupy, romantic, sentimental emotion. Love is a total givingness of the Spirit without any sense of withhold, unconditional, non-conditional, all conditional presence. And with our hearts open, we become instruments of this dynamic love. We begin to have moments and moments and moments of living in a unitive state of awareness, which does not deny us a level of discernment around things we need to be careful about, but allows us to walk as history makers. Not just observing it, making history through participating in the unfoldment of our own soul and the unfoldment of the collective soul of humanity. So much is up right now. It's all good. So much is up right now. Just, if you are a man, look to a woman and say thank you. Look to a woman and say thank you so much for incarnating as a woman. Say to a woman, I appreciate the power that's within you. I appreciate the creativity that's within you. And I am a living field for your safety. I'm a living field for your safety. As you rise, I get to rise. We free each other, baby. Somebody give up a hug, a handshake, a high five. We're together in this. We are together. We are together. We are not going to fall prey to women hating men and men hating women. We're going to rise up together in the consciousness of unity, everyone bringing their gift and their power. Inhale right here. Release the sound of ah. Inhale. Release. So regardless of what happens on a political level right now, something has changed forever. It's shifted. It's never going back. Never. So you guys are in a moment in which history is being made. Keep your heart open. Keep having conversations about what's possible. And then ask, what is it that's mine to do? You'll have your opinions, yes, you will. But you'll learn to put them to the side temporarily so you can articulate a vision. The society evolves through visionaries, artists, individuals who can temporarily pull themselves out of the miasma of the turbulence and see possibility. Describe it. Feel the vibration of it. Anchor it on earth. Individually, we do this. Collectively, we do this. And so that new world, we're walking in it already. You walk in it now. Oh, there's so much here vibrationally. I want you to, if you could just feel this with me. There's so much here. There's so much here. There's so much here. There's so much here. Listen to yourself say, I am enough. Listen to yourself say, I am enough. Listen to yourself say, magnificence is here. Listen to yourself say, all of my needs are met. Listen to yourself say, life is for me and nothing is against me. And notice, no body is needed, no ear is needed. Pure awareness. Your body will now take its cue from what you're saying consciously, beyond subpersonalities, beyond societal voice, beyond parental voice, beyond wounded voice, so that the chemicalization, that is the rising up of the unhealed areas, come to surface to be embraced by a larger awareness, transmuted through observation and prayer, and transcended through the embodiment of a higher truth. This is your destiny. Remember this. This is very freeing. Karma cannot determine your destiny. Can never determine your destiny. It can only determine starting points. Your destiny is determined by your attitude, which develops your character. Your character determines your destiny. So we do not become victimized with immature statements like, well, that's my karma, and that's why I'm blah, 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 blah. No. You're a victim no more. You're the image and likeness of God. You can think independent of any circumstance. Oh my God. Are you guys getting it over here? This section right here, stand up. This section, stand up. Look to these people over here. Look at them. And say, magnificence is here. Beauty is here. Love is here. You guys look at these people and say, magnificence is right where you are. Beauty is where you are. Power is where you are. Scream at them. Middle section, stand up. Even in the balcony, middle section, stand up. Half of you look that way, other half look that way. Say, beauty is here. Love is here. Joy is here. Power is here. God is here. You guys look at these people. Say love is right there. Beauty is right there. Joy is where you are. Power is where you are. Love is where you are. All of your needs are met. Scream at them. Celebrate them. Okay, guys, stand up right here. If you're in the balcony, this is your section right here. Now look at your brothers and sisters over there and say, love is right here. Power is right here. Intelligence is right here. Magnificence is right here. All of my needs are met. I feel it in my bones. You guys talk to your brothers and sisters and say to them, power is right there. Glory of God is right there. Peace is right there. All of your needs are met. Celebrate them. Everyone rise. Close your eyes for a moment and just start turning to your left. Just start turning a little bit until I tell you to stop. Just start turning. Stop! Wherever you are, that's the direction. Say, my life is the life of God. Joy is in me. Power is in me. Love is in me. Prosperity is in me. Abundance is in me. Opulence is in me. Intelligence is in me. Close your eyes. Now this time you're just going to say it. You're going to listen to it. It's going to reverberate in your awareness, but you're not going to say it out loud. You're just going to just say it and hear it. Intelligence is in me. Peace is in me. Love is in me. Prosperity is in me. Opulence is in me. Beauty is in me. God is in me. I just feel that. Now say whatever you need to say to yourself and listen to what you're saying. This is called voice your choice. Choice is a function of expanded awareness. It transcends reaction. You're choosing a reality that's higher than your egoic perception. Take a second and just voice your choice inside your own awareness. Now, without making a sound, inwardly celebrate that. Just feel the vibration of celebration as it's already so. The prosperity, it's so. The health is so. The mental clarity, it's so right now. The feeling tone of joy and the peace, it's so right now. Feel the inward celebration. Now allow that inward celebration to well up and come out of your mouth. Somebody celebrate. Let the celebration happen. Let the celebration happen. Let the celebration happen. Let the celebration happen. Let it happen. Woo-wee! Wow! Yes! Somebody say yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I can. Yes, I am willing. Yes, I am able to release life's energy and be a history maker at this time in human unfoldment. I set myself free. I free others with my freedom. And it's happening right now. Woo! Woo! Sometimes you just gotta run. Woo! Now, as you take your seat, be aware of what you're saying to yourself. Be aware of it. Because now, as you go out into the world, you've done your affirmations, but it's not just the affirmations. It's like when you're just walking around, listen to what voice is speaking. Is it the voice of the subpersonalities that have emerged from reaction, or are you voicing your choice? You're on the bus, you're in Uber, you're driving your car, you're waiting at the line. What voice has dominion? Magnificence is here. Safety is here. Beauty is here. Power is here. Love is here. Prosperity is here. It's reverberating through my awareness. I see differently. Life takes over. It's not I, little I, that's living. It's the life of God that's living through and as me. I yield to it. Let us turn within in this moment. And let us begin to feel as we turn within. A deep, deep sense of gratitude. Deep sense of gratitude, deep sense of gratitude. Oh, be thankful for something. Find something to be thankful for. And in this consciousness of thankfulness, allow yourself to recognize the presence of God. It's that life beating your heart right now. Allow yourself to recognize the life and that which is extracting the hydrogen and the oxygen out of the air. Allow yourself to recognize, God, that's the life force that's digesting your food and turning it into muscle and sinew and bone and organs and actions and functions of the body temple. Perceptual windows are being cleaned and cleared. You're beginning to see differently. No longer living afraid of excellence. No longer living afraid of being talked about. No, you have come at this time in human history to make a difference with your life and with your light. You've come to perhaps be the difference that is needed for the shift in consciousness to take place. You have arrived with everything that you need. It's all within you. And so with this recognition of gratitude and thanksgiving and recognition of the presence of God and a pure sense of unity with life itself, saying, I am what thou art, and thou art what I am, the word of God is spoken with the authority of one knowing that all that there is God. And I speak the word for each of us today. This is not a throwback in the bunch. There's no accidents here. There's no misbegotten ideas. Every idea is perfect, held in the mind of God. And this word is activating that excellence and that beauty and that love and that prosperity and that resourcefulness and innovativeness and endurance and all manner of God qualities are being activated. And anything that would hinder this, it has no power here. It's being transmuted and transcended as we rise high into the awareness of an all-encompassing presence that is never an absence. Something wonderful is happening here. Something wonderful. Oh, say it. Something wonderful is happening. Something wonderful is happening. Through me. Through we. Through me. Through we. It is in this consciousness that I speak the word for each of us, that divine health and well-being reign supreme, mental clarity, emotional purity, physical divine health, allowing us to share our gifts in ways beyond our wildest imagining. All of this is happening right now. Not the future, it's happening now. Just as what you see is the past, it was something that was thought previously and then manifested, we're living in our joyful future right now. We're living in our prosperous future right now. We're living in our healthy future right now. Right now. Right now. What are we doing? We're spiraling up, Marianne. Isn't that what we're doing? Listen, it's happening now. Feel into this. Feel into it.
To see greater possibilities. The world we live in ebbs and flows. Inside the things we think are so. But there's a greater plan for us after we grieve and cry and fuss. Spiral up to see that pain to shine. The plan for us is so divine. The plan for us is so divine. The plan for us is so divine.
Feel that joy? Take the hand of the being next to you and say out loud, I give thanks for my life. I give thanks for the life of God moving through me right now. I give thanks for my health, wealth, well-being, creativity, pure joy, bliss and ecstasy. From this consciousness, we bless those who are on our prayer list, the names that we called in the earlier service, still reverberating within our collective soul. If you're praying for anyone right now, think about them and offer them to the dynamic of well-being and wholeness right now. Don't think of them as sick. Don't think of them as in lack. See with your pure eye their wholeness right now. Feel it. We release ourselves and we release them to the greatest yet to be. For this we give thanks and allow it to be so. If you're in vibrational harmony with this, say, and so it is. And so I am. And so we are. Amen. Amin. Ashe. Shalom. Salam. Aho. Hotep. Hallelujah. So be it.